take it. No, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Got money's not looking for the cure. God money's not concerned about the sick among the few. God money, let's go dancing on the backs of the bruised. God money's not one to choose. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take it. No, you can't take that away from me. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Head like a hole, black is your soul. I'd rather die than give you control. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Bow down before the one you serve. You're gonna get what you deserve. Shallow graves and deepest fears. No one tells me why I'm here. Try this home for me now. The easy way, the easy way, easy way. I'm on to you now. Ooh, go, I'm on to you now. Ooh, you know I'll go. Ooh, go, I'm on to you now. Change everything you are and everything you were. Your number has been called. Fights and battles have begun. Revenge will surely come. Your hard times are ahead. Best, you've got to be the best. You've got to change the world and use this chance to be heard. Your time is now. Time is now. Change everything you are and everything you were. Your number has been called. Fights and battles have begun. Revenge will surely come. Your hard times are ahead. Best, you've got to be the best. You've got to change the world and use this chance to be heard. Your time is now. Time is now. See rock shows near Tampa. Get tickets as low as $20. You might also like map of the problem that news time is running out. Falling away with you. Don't let yourself down. Don't let yourself go. Your last chance has arrived. Best, you've got to be the best. You've got to change the world and use this chance to be heard. Your time is now. Time is now. Don't let yourself down. Don't let yourself go. Your last chance has arrived. Best, you've got to be the best. You've got to change the world and use this chance to be heard. Your time is now. You let me annihilate you. You let me desecrate you. You let me penetrate you. You let me complicate you. Help me, I broke apart my insides.
Welcome, my friends, to XboxEra. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course, XboxEra.com, your destination for the best news, reviews, and features, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcasts listened to in over 50 countries worldwide, our in-depth reviews, our own merch store for the coolest in gaming threads, and of course Day One, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. We're a small, agile and independent publication, and importantly, we're completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can become one of the cool kids by supporting us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us grow even larger. Thank you for your support. XboxEra is only made possible by the support of an amazing community, and in particular our legendary and growing army of Patreon supporters. Our executive producers, Top, The Scarecrow 121, Peter B, Not Jack, Mohammed Sherez, Kevin S, Korkenstein, Jordan White, Jordan Andow, Frankie C, Terran H, and Britt. Our amazingly generous grand benefactors who take their support and dedication to XboxEra to another level. Krat56, an assassin. And then there's our boss, our leader, our shining light in times of darkness, the one and only XboxEra's CEO, Torn Raptor. You guys are all fucking awesome. If you enjoy the content XboxEra produce and want more of it, and you're not a patron, consider heading over to patreon.com/XboxEra, pledge your support, and get cool swag in return. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of XboxEra's Headlines. The date is October 10th, 2024. I'm Sika Mechanico, and today, survivor of the storms, Jesse and I will be taking you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. Pleased to... You're here. You're alive. You're not damp.
Yeah, I did have it set through StreamYard. Hopefully everything's working right. I'm getting 40 up right now for some reason. This thing wants to send 40 when I only set it to 30. But yeah, we made it through. We are in the little everything is underground wire-wise oasis, so we never lost power. Nice. It hiccuped like it does every time for us, where it just off on, internet down for 10 minutes as everything's rebooting. Boom, works, and hasn't been down since. Everywhere around us is completely and utterly in chaos, and there's still a shelter in place, like, please don't go out, the roads are not clear order. I doubt anything's really open today around here, especially. My son was like, I'm probably gonna have to go into work to me yesterday. I'm like, no. If you could even drive to work, I would be surprised, because there's probably gonna be trees everywhere and power lines down, and they don't want anywhere near down power lines because super deadly. But yeah, so it ended up, if it had come in as strong as it was and hadn't gotten battered by wind shear and dry air, it would have been 2 or 3 times as bad. We really lucked out that it got severely weaker as it got to the coast, and it took a hard right and went directly at Sarasota, which is like 60 miles south of the bay. Because if it went above Tampa Bay, like just barely, with the way it spins, it would have dragged all the water up into the bay and just completely inundated most of, anywhere on Tampa that's near a coast. Just would have been like 10 feet, 15 feet underwater. But that did not happen. Instead, it was above, so it yoinked a lot of the water out of the bay because it was going down on the wind. And so instead of being inundated, it was actually the local government had to tell people, please, no matter what you're thinking, do not get out and go walk on the bay, because the water was gone. Because people, like, It's like, it's the only time I'll ever get to do it. And I was like, no, Jesus Christ, please don't. It's not that anyone did. It's just the fact that they have to say, please don't, still always gets me. But yeah, so we're okay. We just sat around and watched movies and the latest episode of Agatha all along last night down here to stay away from all the windows upstairs. And then by like 2 a.m., it had really slowed down and we felt safe enough and just went to bed upstairs. It was okay.
Nice. Good.
Everyone around us has no power. When I look at the outage map, no one's got it.
Wow. Well, I know that the community was certainly keeping a keen eye on you, and I got lots of messages this morning saying like, "Hey, does Jesse make it through?" And I've been like, I checked, and I saw that you were posting, and yep, it's all okay. He's fine. A few broken roof tiles, some minor power outage, but everything else is gravy. So jolly good.
Way
Glad
too much food, so I'm not going food shopping or cooking dinner for a long time.
Yeah, time to just enjoy, sit back, enjoy. But hey, we're here. It's time to dig into all of the video game news from the last couple of days. If, by the way, you're a Patreon member, we do make audio versions of these episodes available to you to listen to and enjoy in the Patreon app, just so you can keep abreast of what's going on in the gaming industry.
And I made sure,
because you never know.
I actually hit the button.
Crazy stuff.
It is recording.
Oh, yay. If you're on Spotify, though, you can link your account to Patreon and listen to it right there. If you want to support XboxEra directly, you can become a patron by heading to patreon.com/XboxEra. It is 100% guaranteed the best way to make everything we do possible. So all of our reviews, our previews, all of the really fun stuff that you actually enjoy is made possible by you guys. So we owe you big time. Much love.
We did have a super chat. If we shouldn't ignore it.
Did we? Oh yes, Jordan White popped in, and it's addressed to you, so I'll let you read it.
All right, he said, Jordan White with a $4.99 super chat. Glad your family's all good, Jesse. Hopefully there wasn't too much damage, and hopefully there wasn't too much damage, if any. Yeah, there's a lot of damage in Tampa. As far as our house goes, it seems fine. Still need to go out and look at my son's car was in the garage or in the driveway. We're in the garage, and we just stacked a bunch of stuff up inside, like our garbage bin and cardboard boxes and stuff we had, and pushed our car back into it. And his car was right in front, so the garage door couldn't wobble and go flying. So outside of should be fine. I didn't notice no broken windows. We only have like friggin' 5 of them in the house because it's a townhouse and we're in the middle. But yeah, we seem to be okay, but everywhere I look around us on the news is very bad. So I feel bad.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the footage this morning. Although everyone in the UK, because, we obviously get a microcosm of what it's actually like in Florida, the biggest focus was obviously on the infamous Lieutenant Dan, who decided to wait both Hurricane Helene and Milton out in his tiny little boat on the bay, and he survived. A journalist popped over there at about 11 p.m. Florida local time, woke him up seemingly. He's like, Lieutenant Dan, are you all right? And he popped his head out and went, yeah. So good for him. At least he's not dead. Anyway, in lighter news, let's dig into the headlines of this week.
It's not really that light, this first story. It should be, but then you see the price.
Yeah. Nintendo, ever one for looking after their fans and making sure that their IPs are treated with the reverence they so deserve, are making a new piece of hardware. And every journalist out there made the same joke. No, it's not the Nintendo Switch 2. They're making Alarmo, an alarm clock.
I hate that name so much. It's so lazy.
It's so Nintendo.
It's the most laziest name I've ever heard. It's... Jeff Grubb, of course, immediately bought one, but he's like, yeah, I know this is stupid, but I love how he loves how stupid it is, and he loves Nintendo. But he's like, yes, if you hate this product, I get it. It is $100 little alarm clock that will just pelt you with Nintendo sounds to wake you up. The reason I titled this week, this show as Nintendo Wants to Watch You Sleep is because it has a sensor, and it reads when you're in bed, and it will turn itself off once you get out of bed.
I hate it. This is one of those instances where only Nintendo could really get away with this, and in fact be supported for it. It's £90 in the UK, $100 right in the US.
Mhm.
I don't know what's going on in gaming anymore.
Every single person on the planet has an alarm that can play Nintendo noises in their pocket.
Yeah, it's just like the last themed alarm clock I had, like bedside alarm clock, was a Star Trek The Next Generation Enterprise alarm clock. Yeah. I was 9. That's it. That's the last time. Jeez. Yeah, Nintendo fans are a special breed. I'm sure many of them will be like, "This is gross," buys it, just like Mr. Jeff Grubb.
Yeah, that is the thing, and it's it is funny because I did see like on social media and in some places, people are like, "How dare you be upset about it? It's just an alarm clock. Don't buy it if you don't want." I'm like, I know
I'm
that.
upset.
I still just find it. I get annoyed that they are allowed to get away with so much. I also don't like anything that watches me. I've got this soundbar from Razer. And I'm not the biggest fan of the fact that the way it works for the 3D tracking as a soundbar is it's always watching you to see where your face is to know where to beam the 3D-ness at you. So like just the dystopian, we always see where you are in some way future is not my favorite.
Yeah.
We got a super chat on this topic from executive producer Mohammed Sharez.
He says, I think the Alarmo name most likely pokes fun at the Japanese language having exaggerated O's in their speech. Also, just at the product being weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's a strange one. Yeah.
It's also not an OLED screen. So some people took that as an ominous sign that the Switch 2 will, in fact, not have an OLED. Because people like conspiracies and people like patterns and they like putting things together when they don't actually match. I've noticed that a lot, like the pattern stuff in Starfield Shattered Space reviews, where reviewers keep relating it to other very different DLC. And yeah, that's a thing in the way people's brains work. But yeah, if you want it and you got the money, cool. But to order it now, you do need to have Nintendo Online because it was tied to that store, and you needed an active Nintendo Switch Online account, like the $20 a year one, to be able to pre-order this. I do think it might be in other places. People already have their hands on it, but I remember seeing that part of the news. Yeah, it's an alarm clock, but it's Nintendo, so they probably sell a lot. They're a can't miss company right now outside of Labo.
Indeed. Labo. God, I remember that. I've just pinged you a DM. Do you want to cover this? I'm always up for supporting fellow independent outlets.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let me just get it here. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse.
Breaking news from the team over at Video Games Chronicle with the announcement that they are releasing a guide to 2025 video games coming directly as a physical book with Patreon members of VGC receiving an exclusive discount. Many of the team at VGC are ex-print media, and they've written here, physical media is something dear to our hearts. And when we were presented the opportunity to create a VGC book by publisher Pen and Sword, we jumped at the chance. It's inspired by classic gaming magazines of the past, and the book will feature separate news, previews, and review sections and special cover art by Will Overton, the much-loved illustrator of countless iconic British magazines. Pretty swanky.
Well, let's say if there's one thing you want to do when you're struggling to make money, it's get into print.
Yeah, I don't know how successful it will be, but I love that people with passion can do it.
Yeah,
we've
dabbled, but you've got an example. Yeah, I mean, people can let us know. Hey,
do we need to do this?
We need a publisher who would let us actually put it out, because the problem is Amazon won't.
Well, this is basically, folks, if you're watching, this was us where we take everything we've done over the last year and we make a print magazine with all of our
It was amazing looking. Because we've got our and we'd probably write up some articles exclusively for it. Yeah, it was almost.
Hey,
It wasn't originally going to be quarterly. Like every quarter, he could just take our biggest, because it's not. We do so many reviews, he would have enough to fill it all up. But yeah,
it would be a way to see some of this gloriously beautiful high definition 4K art that exists nowadays for most modern video games in printed format. I don't know. Maybe VGC have given us inspiration here to pursue such things.
To continue pursuing. We had the inspiration before. We just then ran into the "can you prove you own the rights to all this IP" problem with Amazon.
Well, yeah, that one was printed via Amazon's self, print on demand thing, and they are the roadblock. But if there are other ways to get it made and produced as part of a subscription service, maybe we make it a thing that you can buy on our web store. I don't know. Sound off, patrons. Let us know if this is something.
Publisher if we had a publisher like them, that would do it. But also, I don't know, whoever we're doing the book through, if it was a quarterly thing, and if it was because the idea was quarterly Kickstarter, but it's not super expensive.
It's really difficult because, as Trav is hilariously pointing out in the chat, much to my amusement, I've been burned by print media before, especially when it comes to shipping, and that's the complicated bit. The way that was structured to be done was, hey, well, we've already written everything, so really it was a lot of effort on Predrag's part to make it all look nice,
but
wrap it up.
That's his happy place.
That's his happy place. He loves print media. And then it's getting it produced and shipped, and that's the tricky part, getting it produced and shipped
in the UK, because it would mostly be the US for us. So can we get it produced in the US and shipped would be a lot easier. Yeah, but then that also does hurt UK and EU.
Yeah, well, no, Trav, I feel like you'd just be asking to get sued. No, I don't think so, because print magazines have existed for decades,
and that art it's out there to use for your
it's promoting their stuff. It's not us using it to promote our stuff.
They give us the right to use it. They've got some limited stuff on it, like you can't claim it as your own, but outside of that, it is essentially, please use this to promote our product.
So I don't know. To be honest, card game first. I've written to Mr. Phil Spencer, as per our conversation in June during Summer Games Fest, about, do we want to do a 360 book? We do, but we're also really conscious, and I need to be direct, I guess, on this. Every time we do a project like Console Wars, like the book, it takes away, usually me, from doing day-to-day news or being able to be more available for different reviews.
It was tough to get you and Predrag available most of the time.
Yes, for the first 6 months of this year, it was hard work for you, right? Especially, and you
for
felt
the past 3 years. Yep.
All right, baby, calm down. But yeah, that is the risk we run, and the way I've kind of said to Phil is, if we do this, we kind of need some assistance from Microsoft in terms of access and what we can cover, because the book for the 360 can't take the same route.
It would be War and Peace. It would be enormous if we tried to list it all.
Yeah, but hey, let's see what.
Imagine a year of this gen. It would be like this.
I know, it would be enormous.
Yeah, it would be like...
whatever the case may be, it's always a fun ride. Good luck to VGC on this latest endeavour. As much as they're our competition, I also can't help but share the love for any independent outlets out there still keeping it trucking and not being owned by giant mega corporations that don't give a crap about them. So hopefully that lands for them and they get some more growth out of it. So yeah, go check it out if you're interested. I will put a link in the chat for folks who are keen. Next up in the news, seeing as we're on the subject of books, Jason Schreier has been doing his book tour, and I think the only podcast he hasn't been on over the last sort of 3 weeks is the XboxEra podcast.
Blame Nick.
But yes, his new book, Play Nice, is available now, I believe, which is all focused on the rise, fall, and future of Blizzard Entertainment. and is full of all sorts of anecdotes and stories of Blizzard's past, present, and future. One particular one that has made it into the news this week is the confirmation of Overwatch Mobile. Yeah, it had TV series that were scrapped because
yeah, they had a
of
bunch.
fallings out.
They had
between
like
Blizzard and
almost
Netflix.
everything TV series fall apart with Netflix over various who knows what reasons, but yeah. So Overwatch Mobile, it makes sense. Overwatch can essentially run on really low end hardware. I don't think it would even have to, like, it won't look as good as it would on your Xbox, obviously, but it can still run on a really old PC, being an esports focused title that's not super demanding on CPU or GPU or anything. And mobile is where people can grow, essentially. Console and PC are kind of like, you know what you got, and every once in a while you have something hit harder than you expect, but most of the time it doesn't hit as hard as you hoped. But mobile is the thing where it's not incredibly expensive to dev for in comparison. It just comes down to, do you nail something that people can play in short bursts?
Yeah.
So I do think Overwatch Mobile would have to be much shorter rounds. It has to be something that's like, I can hop in for 5 minutes and still feel like I got my time when I'm not able to just play for an hour. That is one of the big things with mobile. It's got to be something you can always just pause. I think that's kind of what killed like the Resident Evil ports, even though they are now doing Resident Evil 2 as a port, even though none of those ports sold.
Probably a contractual obligation on that one.
Yeah, but well, also it's kind of like, depending on how much it cost versus what they made, especially if Apple is paying for them to exist, I think that's kind of a case on why you will always see ports on Xbox, because there you can still make money even if it doesn't sell a ridiculous amount. But yeah, it's not something I would play. I actually haven't touched Overwatch in a long time just because it's been too busy with everything else, even though game seems to be in a decent place right now. Its player count is far bigger than people ever seem to think. It's still a large, very popular game. Yeah, I don't know. We have to see, what is it? Is it just trying to be Overwatch 2 but you can play on mobile like Fortnite, or is it its own thing? Because if it's
It
its
feels
own
like
thing,
that's the smarter play, is to integrate it into what exists. But are
Yeah.
you saying that an Overwatch match on average is like an hour long? Or are they 10 minutes?
they can be quite long. Sometimes they're short, but normally they're, I don't know, half an hour, 20 minutes. Like the 15 to 20 minutes is probably too long as a default on mobile, but I don't know. There's also like a League of Legends Wild Rift. I don't know how long those go, but I imagine it's a lot shorter than a League of Legends match.
Yeah.
I'm curious. They obviously know what they're doing a hell of a lot better than I do. So I would like to see what it ends up being.
Yeah.
I like Overwatch.
By the way, if you want to get the skinny on everything Blizzard, you can go pick up Jason Schreier's book, Play Nice, all focused on Blizzard at, well, any online or
I
retailer
imagine, yeah,
bookstore. I
probably
presume.
pretty much everywhere knowing him. He gets his books in a lot of places.
Yeah. Well, he's an accomplished author and writer, so one would expect
Unlike-
such things.
Kind
Unlike
of
us.
unlike the next story coming up, he would never use a single source.
Yes, yeah. This is. I take this with a grain of salt here, people. But Mr. Rebs, as he's known on Twitter /X, he's also a YouTuber and a reporter on video game stuff. Released a video around Halo Infinite that goes into some detail via his source, which he confirms in the video to be an X343 developer, or now Halo Studios, talking about Halo Infinite 2 and how it was in production and was cancelled. And it's unlikely that Halo Infinite 2 is now being continued in Unreal Engine. His source went on to explain that the creative team at 343 Industries never felt supported by their new leadership, echoing similar statements in his previous videos on the subject about how leadership at the artist formerly known as 343 Industries created rifts between the decision makers and those that cared deeply about Halo. I don't know.
It's one of those things we report on just because everyone else does, because it is what it's been most of our clicks
how
today.
the internet works.
Yeah, like I had to talk you into doing it, but it is the truth. If the only way to have our website consistently get clicks outside of having a review pop off like the Shattered Space one did, most of the time it's just poorly sourced single person rumors. It sucks.
Yeah.
We don't like doing it, but when it comes down to it, it's unless our Patreon jumped like 3 times in size or doubled overnight, we really have to focus on ad revenue without trying to sell out, if that makes sense. So in the reporting, it's like very clear. It's from this person. This is what they're saying. Take it as you will, not this is definitely happening. Like I see other ones go like, wow, did you see what's going on here? Type of clickbait stuff. So
for me, it's all about how it's framed as well. Like the source is openly a X343
and if they were on the campaign team, they're saying they were fired. Yeah. So when you've got, that's what I always try and talk to Nick about. When you get one person's perspective and only one person's, you're only getting the story the way they want you to have the story. And I don't care if it's like Phil Spencer, you're getting the story the way they want you to have it. No one is super objective all the time, especially if they're any type of media trained individual. They will happily use that media training to try and get you to put out the story that they want to hear. That's why Schreier and Warren and Henderson and everyone, like I need multiple sources who I am trusting aren't collaborating with each other to try and spin a narrative out there, because that's just human nature. They want to get their story out there, and their story might be completely true, but as a reporter you can't know that because you weren't there. So the best you can do is try and talk to as many people as you can.
And like being very careful to tiptoe around my NDA, which to my knowledge is still absolutely in effect. There are loads of things I saw and played in Halo Infinite that are not present, right? And
it was very clear that a lot got cut out.
That's video game development, baby. And like when I talk about this stuff, it's not stuff that you would normally see in a Halo game, right? It's just clearly the developers having some fun as well with their engine.
Well, that's also kind of what
I'm never going to talk about publicly about that stuff because I've agreed not to. No. And that's and was Halo Infinite 2 in development? Maybe they were exploring all, like we've done this song and dance with Tango Gameworks and Hi-Fi Rush 2. Was it greenlit by the big company that owned them previously and ergo it's now in development, or were they working on different things to pitch what they wanted to do, including that sequel? They can both be true, right? But it doesn't mean that it was definitely happening. It might have just been, we're figuring some stuff out, and it's all about that approach and slant on things. So, take it with a grain of salt. Either way, it's all changed now anyway at Halo Studios, as they're now known. We're looking at Unreal Engine. If you missed Tuesday's headlines where we dug onto this Sunday announcement, so we won't spend too much time on it, but we're looking at Unreal Engine. Multiple projects are now in development. I for one, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, and
it is and I keep responding to idiots in comments saying it's still the same studio that effed it all up. Or Peter's like, well, had major issues with scope and scale and constantly not getting to what they hoped a product to be. But Halo 4, good game. Halo 5, okay game. Halo Infinite, great game. It just didn't have the content to last for multiplayer. So, you're muted.
Sorry. Sparta 3G in the chat. MechWarrior 5 Clans announced to arrive on Game Pass day one.
Well, there you go.
Is that some breaking news?
I just got an email from them that was, where is it? From Stephanie at Tinsley. Oh, yeah. Okay, it is in there. Fuck. Well, you got it, John. It's in your thing. Go write up a news story while we do this. Well, there you go.
Well,
now,
I can tell.
You work on your review.
I'm working on my review now.
Yeah, you've got to take that shit more seriously because it's on Game Pass.
There
we go.
I'm taking it very seriously.
When's that coming out? What is the actual release date for that game?
It is coming out on. It's really weird. It's coming out like overnight. So like the 16th if you're in one time zone, and the 17th if you're in every other time
so
zone.
yeah, that is after next week's announcement. So that
So-
there's alongside Call of Duty, you got MechWarrior 5 Clans in Game Pass Day 1.
Banging.
That's those two alone, pretty good wave.
Yeah, MechWarrior 5, like Clans. You saw my preview.
Mhm. Just talk
now
about it as you did during the preview.
Yeah, I liked what I played, and I've been digging more into the full game, which I will bring you my review now ahead of launch.
Not now.
It's great.
You said you'll bring the review now. I was like,
No,
you
I
won't.
said more. Did
No,
I say
you said
now?
you'll bring the review now ahead of launch. I was like, no, you won't.
No, yeah, I won't be doing that. So yeah, you can look forward to my thoughts. I am playing it in co-op. Yeah.
Trying to get we always try and get the most full experience that we can and stuff. It's not some like with Space Marine 2, I couldn't play. I tried playing PvP, but there weren't enough people reviewing it to really do that at the time on but yeah, no, that's exciting. And to finish off Halo Infinite 2, sure, I would have played it. But now they're doing something different, and I'm going to guess I don't want them to reboot the series. It's way too long. There's way too much lore. I do think they'll stay away from numbered entries because they don't want people to feel like, well, I can't play this one. I didn't play the other 8. Like if there was Halo 7 coming up. But like, you don't even need to reboot it. You can figure out a way to either get Chief off the ring at some point. Like, you could start the next game where Halo Infinite ended. It is just this open tapestry. And you can literally just get him off and go do other stuff pretty quickly if you need to. Like, there wasn't a ridiculous amount left over in Halo Infinite's story. It was leading to other parts of the ring, but you didn't have to stay there if you don't want. So I do think you don't need the big time jump like 5 to Infinite had, which, by the way, Halo Epitaph. If you ever played Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite, and you wanted more, and especially if you read the Forerunner books, the Forerunner trilogy, this freaking book is great from Kelly Gay, and it completely wraps up all 3 games to each other and finishes off essentially the Didact and Halo 4 and 5 story. Didact, Warden Eternal, like a whole bunch of stuff from 4 and 5 wrapped into the start of Infinite. It's really good. So
yeah. Now I'm going to queue up the next story, but I am genuinely writing this MechWarrior 5 Clans news story while you're talking about it. So I'm going to queue it up, and then I'm going to be quiet for a bit while I'm typing. Next up in the kind of like new hardware,
another rumor
genre
you should
of
probably
things is
write up.
Yeah, well, hey, you could write it up too, man. You know,
I
I'll
could.
fumble you for it. Microsoft, you know, maybe this is Sarah Bond's mythical, exciting hardware to be announced this fall. I doubt it. This is a rumor from Ecstasis, a new revised wireless headset meant to be coming later this month. How much stock do you put in this one, mate?
They haven't been in stock for a very long time. So that makes sense. That gives it a lot of validity. The part of the rumor is the only thing they seem to know is it's going to be $10 more. So instead of $100, it's $110, which I think some people are hoping means it's a refresh, like a hardware refresh. There might be something a little different about it. I know the ear cups fall apart on my my kids all the time. So like he's also really rough with headphones. But like he has been, and he's like, this headset lasts way longer. And it's like, yeah, but you were going through it in like a year every time. When I've had the same headset for like 5 and it's fine. But he is abusive, I guess. But yeah, so $10 more. I'm not sure what would change. Like for the price, like this one that has stayed in its box since being bought. This one was really nice. Custom sounds, all that type of stuff, but I don't remember like it being any different. It's still the same headset. It just had its own cool look and little sounds and whatnot. And I'm not sure what they would change. Maybe a newer version of Bluetooth, because I think Bluetooth 6.0 has been announced. I don't know if it's a thing yet though, and it's supposed to be the best one yet because Bluetooth in general is really bad. But yeah, I wouldn't mind bigger ear cups, but I have, big head, so something this size really helps. And those are a little smaller.
I purchased the mesh ear cups that fit the Steel Series ones and replaced the faux leather ones.
Yeah.
You can pick them up on Amazon for like $10. Infinitely more comfortable than the stock leather ones that come with the existing wireless headsets.
I did the same thing.
Hopefully they'll do the, maybe mesh as standard this time, I can hope. But I thought the stereo headset, for what it was, the price, everything else, mine's still perfect today. And I love it. So I don't really see the need to replace it, but hey, if it's does some new cool stuff, I'll definitely check it out.
Hardware refreshes are nice. So we haven't really gotten any from them in a while. None that we know of. Like, if anything's changed inside the consoles, they haven't said. Like, I'm sure some stuff changed when they did the bigger, the black Series S and the white Series X and the Galaxy one. There's probably something a little different about them. You would imagine over time you can refine or make things a little cheaper. It's always because you can't get the components cheaper, so maybe there's some parts that changed a little bit, but controller's been the same. Headset had been the same, so it will be interesting if there is anything different and better what it is, because otherwise it's just charging $10 more because it's really popular, so you can. Which is a lot of the industry right now, realizing, we can just charge a little more and people will still buy the same amount and we make more money. So hopefully it's not that.
Hopefully. But hey, while we haven't had hardware refreshes, we are having hardware refurbishment. And indeed, Sony have now started selling refurbished PlayStation 5 consoles. This is coming via Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. They're selling them via their PlayStation Store, PlayStation Direct, and these are pre-owned pieces of hardware that have been returned for whatever reason and are now resold at a discounted price. So you can pick up a PS5 Slim or digital for like $350, which is
it's 50 off.
That's reasonable, I think.
Yeah,
it comes with a warranty.
Yeah, it's matching what Microsoft had been doing for a while with their refurbished. I think if you go on like Xbox Series X refurbished, Xbox.com. And then it normally pops up. Yeah, here it is. So, boop, if it wants to load. It's got to log me in and everything. So yeah, so you can go on here and it's the same thing. You get $50 off of the MSRP for buying it refurbished, but it is from them, so it's directly from the PlayStation Direct store, similar to the Microsoft store. So you still get a warranty and all that stuff and save $50. And they say it's in great shape. And if it's not, they can you can yell at them. So
yeah. Wow. There you go. If you're into that, you can go and pick one of those things up.
It would make a digital half the price of a PS5 Pro.
Wow.
Digital.
So almost like that's the better way to go. News, isn't it? Next up, Sony have also announced their October game catalog lineup. What is coming to PlayStation Plus if you're
some
a subscriber?
solid things. The big one a lot of people have noticed is Dead Island 2, which is a good ass video game. I just got a text. Everything's still closed in Tampa. Don't go out. I won't. But yeah, so what was there? Dead Island 2. There's a few more. Let me bring it up over here so I can read the list. Grease, I believe, is amongst them. It's a solid game. So these are the ones. This is the catalog. This is the added to their vault, not their you keep them. So PlayStation Plus Extra gets Dead Island 2, 2 Point Campus, The Dark Pictures Anthology, The Devil in Me, Return to Monkey Island, Grease, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, Firefighting Simulator The Squad, which is a terrible game, Overpass 2, Tour de France 2023, and Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, which was bad at launch and is very good now. PlayStation Premium gets The Last Clockwinder for PSVR 2, Dino Crisis for PS1, as had been previously announced, Siren for PS2, and R-Type Dimensions EX for PS4. So it is another one of those months where they're getting some good stuff that has or is on Game Pass. So it's like, these are good games. If you don't have an Xbox and Game Pass, it's a solid month for you. If you're I own everything, it's probably a bit meh. But that's not most people don't own everything. So Dead Island 2 rules. Return to Monkey Island rules. I didn't really... Ghost Recon Wildlands is good now. Better with friends, like always, but it is a much better game now than it was at launch. I know everyone... Greece, they like it quite a bit. Not long. You can get through it pretty quick. But these are the ones that are added to the vault. You don't get to own them, so take that as you may. Dead Island 2 rules. And is great in co-op or solo. So, solid month.
Pretty good. Sorry, trying to do this and right news. It's really hard. It's really hard.
I can intro the next and do the next one.
Okay, I'll let you do that because I'm nearly done, and then I will swoop back in with a vengeance.
So we had talked about Humble Games all being let go by Ziff Davis Media, the parent company of IGN. They have now formed a new publisher called Good Games Group, and you're going to be surprised because they're working with Humble Games. They are coming back in to work on and complete a lot of the deals that they had with their partners that they had signed to Humble Games. So they're coming in a lot of those smaller titles that had like lost access on stuff. Hopefully they now get it back. It is an overall good story, and it is essentially, we fired people to hire contractors to do the work. It just happens those contractors are the people we fired because they were able to make their own company out of it. So the Good Games Group is now working with Humble Games, the people who fired them, to keep working with all those people they had relationships with, support the games that have been put out and whatnot. So overall, an okay story in the end. Hopefully, I don't know if it's everyone who was fired that was brought on. I should probably open the thing and read it again because I read it yesterday, but then the hurricane happened and I kind of forgot everything. So
understandable.
The Good Games was founded by ex-general manager Alan Patmore and former global publishing VP Mark Nash from formerly Humble Games. The new publisher will provide additional support to the IGN-owned Humble's previously released games. Now, Humble, they say, everyone always says IGN-owned, but then when everyone was fired, they try to say it wasn't under IGN anymore. Because it was Ziff Davis owns IGN, IGN bought Humble Games. But now they were trying to say, like, Humble Games Publishing wasn't under IGN, but the Humble Games store was. I forget. No, I don't know, but they did say partnering with Ziff Davis allows us to continue working with the amazing indie developers we collaborated with at Humble Games, wrote Patmore, while also allowing us to chart a new course for the future. This is per GameDeveloper.com. So it was a 36-person staff that were fired, including Patmore and Nash. I'm trying to look here. I am not seeing, it does not say in this story if 36 people are now working at the new studio, but at least 2 of them are. Cool beans.
That is cool beans.
Hopefully.
I have now done. The news is posted. Whew. Stressful, very stressful. There you go. Lovely. I love that MechWarrior 5 Clans is now releasing on Game Pass because like we commented about it, I think, when we did the preview. They have a good relationship. IP. There's an IP relationship as well, and previous games have come in, and now we've got a day one, brand new story-based MechWarrior game. And as per my preview, it's got more than a hint of MechAssault about it.
And it's co-op, and co-op is great for the service.
5-player co-op.
Community nights with you for sure.
Yeah. I'll jump in. I also look forward to see what the mod community do with the game, but we'll see. Next up, in somewhat sad news, because I've always liked this studio, Rime Studio Tequila Works has confirmed layoffs and a game cancellation. And oh my god, VGC, why don't you have a dark mode? Oh, thank you,
you're pretty
Dark
blinded.
Reader. The company is restructuring to focus on the development of one single title. And this is via Tom Ivan at VGC. The Spanish development studio Tequila Works has made a small number of layoffs, and it said the move followed the decision to cancel an unannounced project that had been in development at the Madrid-based outfit. In a post on LinkedIn, they said, with deep regret, we must inform of the decision to cancel an unannounced game. This tough decision means we'll be restructuring the studio to concentrate on the development of just one. These changes will have an impact to a small number of roles at the studio. This is an incredibly difficult time, and our focus is to provide the support and guidance to those affected. These guys have been around since 2009. They debuted with Deadlight, and they had Rime, and Guilt, I think, which was with Google Stadia, and then it came out elsewhere. Tencent are a majority shareholder as of 2022, so let's see what happens. But yeah, there you go. I hate hearing good studios having to have layoffs. It's never nice.
It's just still not a great time to be someone who makes video games, no matter how much the industry at whole seems to make its investments way down, because it has to be number go up. It can't be number as good, because you don't make money in investing that way. You make money when you invest here, and then in a couple of years they're here, and then you can like get a dividend or a split, and you make a little money, or you just sell if it's really high and you think it's going to crash. It's it is the system we have. It's not going anywhere. It just also is the thing that is actually unsustainable, that people just kind of take for granted. Like, oh, this is just the way it works. And it's like, yeah, but it's been kind of bad since the beginning. It's so much of it is based on pump and dump, and like buying a company like Red Lobster or Toys R Us in the US, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, who are in great shape and doing really well. But then you're a venture capital firm that's just looking to offload some debt. So you buy them, run them as cheap as you can into the ground, and eventually file bankruptcy and wipe away debt. Like, it's just, it's getting real bad. It's kind of like the housing market, where just buy out all the homes and then rent them for way more than they should cost. And it's all a symptom of the same stuff, essentially, in the end. Right now, the system works if really rich people are nice and trickle down, and they're not. So it doesn't.
That's
I also
about the gist of it.
I wrote Studio.
In breaking news,
Ooh.
And I'm going to ping this to you quickly so that you can put it up on the screen whilst I'm briefly talking. We just covered one newly announced day one Game Pass release with MechWarrior 5 Clans. But if you are a footy fan and we're looking forward to getting stuck in with Football Manager 25, bad news, old bean. The game has now been delayed until March of 2025. That's a 4-month delay.
It's actually coming out in the year, it said, no?
Yeah, so this is coming out. This is via Chris Scullion over at VGC. It's been delayed by 4 months. Sega and Sports Interactive have announced the game will now release in March instead of its planned November 26th release date. So, yeah, which is odd, because I swear I wrote that Football Manager story coming to Game Pass like a week and a half ago. And surely they knew then. I don't know how these things work. But they've said here, after careful consideration, Sports Interactive have made the tough decision to further delay the release of Football Manager 25, a statement from the developer says. So there you go. I'm
going to quickly add. So I do the not nearly as popular this year, sadly, but I do that everything coming to Xbox for the year. MechWarrior 5 Clans. That is October. I'll just put the 16th. I don't know. So I do keep it. It's pretty much always on the side of our articles. You'll see it. There's a everything coming to Game Pass in this year article, and I'm just going to update that real quick. But it is weird. They had just given the date, so it is odd to go from just announcing, especially since it was like so many platforms, and then it's just gone. And it's like, it is curious how that happens. It's like You just announced it. What changed?
Yeah,
Was it
in that
somebody in the
short
team
space of time.
convincing you that, by the way, we shouldn't do this? And I do have to say, these pop-up ads on our site, I understand they make a lot of money. They're annoying.
I know.
So we apologize to you. But if you're on our website without an ad blocker and you get those pop-ups, that's like they make a ton of money. That's why the ad company is doing them. So I apologize.
Yeah, it is what it is. We've got to be able to live and stuff.
I fully admit, Mort, I've never touched a Football Manager game, so you probably know way more about it than me. But yeah, if switching engines definitely is the type of thing that would lead to a delay, logically, one could say.
Hey ho. And then last bit of news, I guess, is Shinobi. Remember that game?
Mm-hmm.
Ninjas and stuff? Well, it's getting a video game adaptation via Universal with Extraction Director. I think that is the Netflix film with Chris Hemsworth, Extraction 1 and 2. Director Sam Hargrave. He's an ex-stuntman, which is why Extraction 1 and 2 were quite good fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Shinobi, video game, adaptation, movie. I mean, that's kind of cool.
Wasn't
a
his name
bit out of left field,
Musashi?
maybe. Is his name Joe Musashi?
Yeah, and he always looked white in the game. And I know people are going to get mad if it is like another ninja thing and it's a white guy. But he can't be white, right? Like, last name is Musashi.
Japanese,
that shouldn't be it. Yeah. I don't know. But cool. I mean, the only thing that the IP doesn't lend itself to a good movie. You just need good writing and good action. That's going to be it. It's not like Shinobi wasn't this incredible story thing. So
yeah, they can do whatever they want. It's just going to have cool ninja fights. Sam Hargrave, ex-stunt director, ex-stuntman, I believe, turned director. I think he's a good pick for the job, right? And if he particularly loves the IP, go nuts. I want to see it. I'll watch it. So fingers crossed.
It is very funny. I pulled up a full run, 17 minutes. It is really fun. You go back to the old games. Hey, there's Marilyn Monroe in the background. You go to these old games that were at the arcade. They couldn't be super long because if somebody was really good at them, they would hold up the machine and you wouldn't make money. The only way they made money was by just being unbelievably difficult for no reason other than getting as many quarters out of your pocket as you could. That's why I have such a hard time going back to any games from this time frame. I don't know how people do it because they are designed to drive you insane by being so hard. It's like I can't take it anymore. None of them had a story. This one was always weird. It was like modern day ninja without wearing it. Like the very first one doesn't even have a goddamn thing on his head. Like
he's just got to have the red scarf. I think that's
he doesn't even have it. He's freaking blue and gray in this one. Not even red. This can't be the iconic one that people love. This looks stupid. Is it for Sega that people liked?
Probably.
No, these are all the same.
Maybe it's getting a reboot, isn't it? Sega is one of their mini games.
It was like Shinobi 2 or something, because Jesus. Yeah, and it's a I forgot, was it .emu or someone that people like was doing it, so hopefully it's solid. So I think some of the newer ones have like the cooler like 2002 Shinobi. It's actually the way you think he looks. This is very Ninja Gaiden looking, though.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of these games being good, but I might be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. Could be okay. The Extraction 1 and 2 were solid. I enjoyed them. They weren't like amazing, but they were good. They were good action movies. So
I have hope. I believe. Anywho, that's about all of the news. As a minor tangent before we wrap things up, I've just got access into Fragpunk's technical alpha, technical beta, whatever we'll call it. I might do a little community streamy type thing when it opens up later this evening, once my co-op partners in that video game that I'm reviewing, that's now coming day one to Game Pass next week, is out and about and they're offline. So keep an eye on our YouTube channel for later, because I don't think we've got videos wise
Make that MechWarrior 5 review as long as possible because it'll probably make a ton of money because the preview had so many. Goddamn, it's like 36,000 or something now. Like, watch the review do like 3,600.
Honestly, and I've got to give props to MechWarrior fans out there. Mostly very well behaved. Lots of great discussion going on in our YouTube history. And one of them, Kenneth, I'm going to call him out. He joined our Patreon based on the video. He was like, wow, like what a channel. I think you guys are going to go great. And now he's a Patreon member.
Yeah, I can refresh it right now and here it'll come up.
I pinned his comment because it was so nice to read. So yeah, like I'm going to be going very in depth. Like MechWarrior is one of my childhood nostalgic IPs, right? I grew up on that stuff. It was that and Elite. It was kind of my two forays into video games. So expect a pretty in-depth review from me, capturing lots of footage. I am reviewing it on PC, but I will have Xbox footage in the review.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where if you want to get it done
it's
early,
a long co-op game.
Yeah, and if you want to get it done early, it's one of those ones where PC is just what's available early.
Yeah,
so don't yell at us. They will yell at us, but don't.
And also, initially, like especially when it's a really long co-op game, like you've got to get into it. You've got to be able to finish stuff. So yeah. We'll get there. But anyways,
also for Fragpunk, if you are on Xbox and you have the Insider Hub, go in there and you can sign up.
Indeed you can. Cool. All right. Well, that's it from us. We'll be back on Saturday for another episode of the thrilling adventure that is the XboxEra podcast with Special Nick. As always, we'll be testing our new Patreon questions format. So keep an eye out on the forums and in our Discords for the latest question form. Please stick to relatively easy to organize categories. It'd be most appreciated. Otherwise, we have Nick interrupting me when I'm just trying to talk them through. And, it's just...
It broke the flow. And it's like, you broke the flow every time, Nick. you constantly broke the flow because of your OCD. Like, look, we know... When the questions are mixed into the show, people like it. When they are at the end of the show, we go from 250 viewers to 100. Like, everyone just leaves. So we're mixing them in.
We're mixing them in, baby, because it's important. Because Jesse and I adore our patrons and support their support of us emphatically.
I adore them so much that
people hear their voice.
After this show, I'm probably just going to stream a bunch today, right after this, once I get all the things done. Because I don't have anything else to do. I don't have any games in yet.
Loads of news to write up. You can crack on with the Football Manager.
Oh God, I despise writing news. I've done it enough.
I will jump on the Football Manager news then momentarily. Until next time, we'll be back on Tuesday for headlines. As always, big thank you to all of our patrons for making episodes like this possible. If you want to become one, head to patreon.com/XboxEra until Saturday, and then maybe Tuesday, and then maybe every Tuesday and Thursday for the rest of your goddamn lives. We'll see you next time. Ciao for now.